Octagon.
Yeah. Do you think that hurts, like, the idea of this money fight happening because MMA fans look at Brock differently?
No. I think I don't want to accuse Brock of being on anything, but I would say in his sport, I think fans almost expect that. And when you see these massive guys jumping off ropes and just like bodybuilding and stuff, like you know, it's not talked about, but everyone knows how these guys are looking like that. So I don't think it will affect the fight at all. I think people want to see this massive freak do what he does.
It's okay for there to be a freak show every now and then.
Every now and then. I think as long as he is clean by the time the fight comes around, which USADA will make sure of, then I don't really think the fans care what he's doing to be the best Brock Lesnar in the WWF arena.
I was shocked you called him out because Brock to me is I think there's nobody in the light heavyweight division you can't beat, and a lot of the heavyweights you can beat, but he's a scary guy because he puts you down and lays on you, and he's really good at keeping people down. I mean, he's a big, people say, well, he's a pro wrestler, but he was a legitimate wrestler, man. And he held down Mark Hunt for 3 rounds, and Mark's a really strong guy.
I think that's what makes the fight so great is the legitimate danger there. You know, I mean, people really could see me losing that one, and if I'm not on my game, it's a fight that anything can happen. What you just said. I mean, he's a Division I wrestler, super athletic. I mean, he's no slouch. I mean, look at him. There's not many men on the planet that looks like this guy. So
and everybody that's ever fought him, whether it's MMA, whether it's pro wrestling, whether it's amateur wrestling, like all anybody talks about is how freakishly strong he is, like inhumanly strong.
They say there's a quote from a movie. It's the heart that makes it great. You know what I mean? It being such a huge challenge is what makes it great, and that's what I'm chasing. I'm chasing greatness, and this is a huge legacy thing for me. I mean, to be able to beat Brock Lesnar is like, dude, this guy truly is a bad motherfucker.
Well, you've already achieved greatness. I mean, like you're legitimately looked at as as by far the best light heavyweight, and I would still put you as the best fighter in the UFC. I know Demetrius gets that, and he's great, but I think that you've beat some just whatever. I would put you above him.
Thanks, Jim.
Just because of the people you've beaten. I mean, the
Gustafsson
fight.
The resume says it all. Really.
Yeah, and it's got to be hard after a while. It's like, okay, well, you've beaten almost everybody in the light heavyweight division, so now you have to move up. But the only problem is that a lot of those guys with the reach advantage might not be there. When you get a guy like Brock, has got gigantic. I don't know what his reach is, but I imagine it's close to yours.
Yeah. So I've heard that me and Stephen Shrew are the two guys with the longest reach, and it's crazy because he's almost 7 feet tall, and my arms to be as long as his. I don't think the reach would be much different. I think I would still have the advantage over most of them. I just think my presence wouldn't have the same factor. Like when I'm out there, just being taller than these guys, and I just got a big frame, you know. So a lot of times when they grab me, they feel like they're dealing with a heavyweight.
Yeah.
And I've grown up wrestling my older brother, who was always a heavyweight, and most of my teammates that I go with are heavyweights. So I just have a very big presence about me when I'm out there. I've noticed, you know, I appear bigger than people. And at heavyweight, I think that would be gone. You know, no more could I just clinch somebody up and just flip them to the floor and you make it look effortless. I would really have to be, my strength would have to be at a completely different level. My endurance would have to be in a completely different level to fight against these heavyweights. Everything I do would take double the energy, and so I would really have to be in tremendous shape to compete against these guys, which I'm not afraid of trying to do.
Well, that was what I was wondering. Like, when you call out a Brock Lesnar, or when it's just simply make that plan on going into the heavyweight division, do you do it like with a strategy in mind? Like, I know I can train, and this is how I would beat Brock Lesnar if he accepted this fight, or do you do it just knowing I'll be able to come up with a strategy before then?
Yeah, I feel like stylistically, Brock Lesnar is a very winnable fight for us. I mean, the key to the fight would have to be just really just kind of just using my versatility on the feet and my speed. And then I have really good takedown defense as well. Gustafsson's been the only guy to get me down, and I was just completely caught off guard, and I wasn't expecting a Swedish boxer to shoot a double leg dive. Completely caught me off guard. I don't think they have wrestling over there in Sweden. Yeah, it was, you know, so yeah, the key for Brock is literally to just really stick and move. And then I wouldn't be surprised if I got him down. You know, I have a lot of unconventional trips and takedowns that I pull off on heavyweights all the time. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I took down Brock and finish him off with a submission and things like that.
And how was it after the fight, too? I saw your video at The Rock. That was a fun video to watch. Had you met him before, or was that your first time interacting with him?
That was my first time meeting The Rock, dude. It was such an honor. I have so many friends that worship that man. I mean, he's a true idol.
Yeah.
To so many people of so many different ages and races and countries.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like one of those. He's like a Michael Jackson-like figure on the planet, like just loved by millions and millions and millions of people. And so to meet him, you really, for me, I felt like I was in the presence of true greatness. This guy is so great, and he was just so kind. And one of my favorite things about meeting celebrities is when you meet ones that are exactly the way they appear to be and why you love them across the TV screen.
Yeah.
And he was everything that I was hoping that he'd be. Just super genuine and just a nice guy. It was an honor to meet him.
Do you ever care who's in the crowd when you're fighting? Does it ever mean anything?
Not too much. As I've gotten more seasoned as a fighter, I've learned to kind of embrace every ounce of fighting. So I'm literally like looking around to see what celebrities are there, and I'm waving to people. I'm scanning the first few rows to see who I know,
Sure.
and acknowledging everybody and stuff like that. And I'm glad to be that way because it just shows my level of comfort in the octagon. But no, I'm never like more nervous because a certain person's there. No, I did hear Donald Trump was planning on coming to this fight. And I guess security reason why it wasn't going to work out, but I think that would have added a little nerve.
Sure, yeah, to whoever the sitting U.S. president is,
the
yeah.
president, yeah, that would have been cool.
They rumored him coming to New York, too. They said he might come to New York.
To the Garden Show?
Yeah, we had heard that. I think his son might have come.
Oh, I remember that, yep.
But the security to get any... I was at the only boxing match I've ever gone to was I saw Golovkin fight, and Trump was in the row ahead of us, like 4 seats down, but he was still running. So he had Secret Service, but he wasn't the president. Now, forget it.
Yeah.
You can't put the president in the middle of an arena.
Yeah, no way. No way. Too many holes.
Just too many people yelling. Or just even people that were just yelling and screaming.
It's a huge distraction.
Yeah, it'd be a big distraction.
For sure. With GGG, who was he fighting?
I don't remember the guy's name, actually. I'm not a big boxing fan at all. Louis C.K. called me the night before. He goes, "What are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, nothing." He goes, "You want to go see a boxing match?" So I just met Louis, and we went to the fight. I forget who he was fighting, to be honest with you.
He's a special talent.
Yeah, I like him a lot, but I very, very rarely watch boxing. I stopped years ago because of MMA. I just enjoy it much more.
What's your prediction with Mayweather, McGregor?
Mayweather. And it's not because I don't like McGregor. I never liked McGregor because he always beats up people I like. Like, I like Eddie Alvarez.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, but I mean...
Good luck trying to get him on your show now.
No, I would love to interview him because I think he's great. I mean, the guy's a great fighter. That fucking second Diaz fight, the fact that he lost and then came back and won a 5-round decision, I mean, was incredible. The guy's he's phenomenal. So I would love to see him beat Floyd Mayweather because I like him a lot more than I like Floyd. I'm not a big Floyd fan, even though I respect him. So I would like to see McGregor beat him, but I just don't think you can come in and beat a best defensive fighter ever.
What is it about Floyd?
I've interviewed him once, and he wasn't unpleasant, but he was a bit standoffish. And normally that's how I judge people, is how they are when I've talked to them. And he wasn't. He spoke.
It's the best way to judge someone.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I can only...
you actually met him and not like him, right?
Right.
I hate when people hate someone that they've never met. It's just like, come on, guy.
I read an article about him. I can't stand the guy.
Right.
Yeah, we had him on, and he came in. And again, I know he's Floyd, but he came in with, like, really gigantic bodyguards, and I'm like, you don't need all that. He had kept his sunglasses on. I'm like, Floyd, we're just promoting a big show wrestling.
Money.
He wasn't awful, but he could have been a little bit looser. Like, Tyson comes in by himself or with a buddy or with his wife. Like, he doesn't need guys. I just prefer that.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Just like I was telling you, like, one of the best things about meeting celebrities is when they're being a human being.
Yeah,
when they're real.
Right.
Did you decide to switch up how you dress, like coming? Because I kind of noticed it, like, looking at, like, interviews you were doing leading up to the fight and then after the fight. Like, it seemed like you were consciously trying to portray something different, like a little more mature, a little more, like, put together.
Yeah, I think it's important for me to obviously I'm not like a super fancy like suit guy or whatever, but I think it is important for me to try to represent myself as a professional, especially because of my history.
Right.
I think a lot of people may kind of look at me as being a little bit of a thug or whatnot, and so I just make sure I put a little bit more thought into the way I'm carrying myself and present myself. I know that I'm trying to rebrand myself and create a new beginning, a new image, and things like that. And so I just think, looking like a young man is important.
Is it important to you from a role model perspective too? Because especially as like a famous black man,
Right.
like there's not that many great male black role models. People talk about it all the time.
What are you saying, guys?
I know, Sam.
Yeah, I'm about to fuck you up.
Yeah. What I would do is I would smack him. Sam.
No,
You black men are pieces of really? Is that what you
Well, there is a legitimate question. Do you feel a pressure? Because a lot of times
Right.
people will say, like, "Hey, you're a black role model. Do you feel any pressure to behave a certain way because there's that pressure put on you?" You're welcome, Sam. By the way, for fucking fixing up that shitty question.
Yeah, you like, yeah.
I was going
where the fuck is this guy going with
I was getting there.
I don't really look at it as a black and white thing. I just think like my kids are half white and everything like that. A lot of my friends are Hispanic and white, and so I really try not to look through the eyes of color. I just think it's important as an athlete to I realize that we have a platform and that we can actually inspire a lot of people, and we can also lead people down the wrong path. And I feel like for a while there, I led a lot of people down the wrong path. I've had fighters say things to me like, "Oh, dude, if you can drink before a fight, then I'll drink before a fight. I could do it too." So I just feel like I've done a good job not being the best example, and so at this point I'm really ready to try to inspire people through my life. So I don't really feel pressure for being like a black athlete or whatever. I just feel like with great gifts and talents come great responsibility, and I have to try to do right for the most part, because I understand that people are watching. I understand that I've been a bad example for a lot of athletes and things like that. So it's time for me to get some of that back and show people that rocky beginnings doesn't necessarily have to be the whole story.
Sure.
Octagon News.